Right then, event season in Dubai. We've got some great speakers in the city at the moment, including Jim Rickards. He's a lawyer, he's an investment banker, he's a media commentator and an author of books including Currency Wars, The Making of the Next Global Crisis. He's here in Dubai to speak at an event today, and he joins us now in the studio. Jim, good morning. Thanks very much indeed for being with us.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Right, you're on stage in about an hour and a half, so we better make this one snappy. What are you going to be saying?
I'll be mainly talking about the BRICS, but because of course UAE is one of the newest members of the BRICS, but in the context of gold. The BRICS are launching a new currency. They'll do it in stages, not all at once. It will not replace the dollar, but it'll be side by side with the dollar, similar to sort of sterling and the dollar in the 1920s. But they're going to link it to gold by weight, and that'll be a very interesting development.
Because you're speaking at the Dubai Precious Metals Conference, so clearly you're going to have some gold bugs in the room. It's going to be a friendly audience when it comes to the yellow metal. What's the story?
Well, the story is, a lot of people look at the price of gold, and it's kind of going sideways, has for a while, and they say, well, with all the turmoil in the world, why isn't gold going much higher? What happened to the safe haven status and all that? But I point out that when people talk about the price of gold, they're really talking about dollars. They'll say $1,900 per ounce, etc. It's a dollar-based market. So when you quote a price, are you really talking about gold, or are you talking about the dollar? And in my view, if you think of gold as a form of money, you're really talking about the dollar. Stronger dollar will mean possibly a lower price for gold. Weaker dollar could mean a higher price for gold. There are other factors, but that's a big one. So I'm actually impressed with the fact that gold is kind of hung in there, and it's not even lower. We're living in a strong dollar world. And that's a shock to a lot of people. Like, hey, the Fed printed $10 trillion. How could you have a strong dollar? The Fed money just went in a circle. They gave it to the banks. The banks gave it back to the Fed. It's the commercial banks that drive the market. And there's a global dollar shortage. So that accounts for the strong dollar. And so I'm actually surprised gold isn't lower. I expect it to go higher in the future as the dollar starts to weaken.
So we are $7 shy of $2,000 for gold this morning, $1,993. What about the cryptocurrencies? There is an argument, and there are those in Dubai who believe it, that Bitcoin is the new gold. Right now on Bitcoin, $37,000 and change. Your thoughts?
I've spent 11 years focusing very heavily on Bitcoin, but all the cryptocurrencies, of course, there are thousands of them out there. And I find no use case whatsoever. The best analogies
Tell us what you really think.
Well, that's it. The best analogies are you go into a casino, put your money down, you get a stack of chips, you gamble. You can win or lose. That's chips, and cash them in for dollars to go outside. If you walk out with your chips, with a casino chip, you need the dollars. So my point is, within the crypto world, yeah, you can buy them and sell them. By the way, there's good research that 90% of all Bitcoin trades are wash trades between the so-called whales. They're not actually retail investors of any kind, not real indications of interest. So it's a closed loop, no use case. It's a form of gambling. If you enjoy it, by all means, be my guest. The other thing I find is that the best analogy from communications theory, it's really hallucinogenic. It's kind of, you see what you want to see. So, again, if people enjoy it or want to, you can make or lose money. I know people have made $20, $30 million in Bitcoin. It's real money, but it's just a form of gambling.
About your thesis, and you mentioned this at the beginning, about the UAE joining the BRICS. Now, just to remind people, BRICS was an acronym that was coined about 20 years ago now. Brazil, Russia, India and China, the four big emerging markets. South Africa joined some time ago, and now the UAE has joined an expanded BRICS. Why do you think this is significant?
Well, the UAE is a big player in and of itself, but there were 6 new countries admitted, the others including Saudi Arabia and Iran, and Egypt and Argentina and a few others. Now, Saudi Arabia and Iran have their issues, but they're two of the largest oil producers in the world, along with UAE. So now you've almost made OPEC obsolete, because Russia was never in OPEC, but they are in the BRICS. So now you have Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and for that matter, Brazil, all in the BRICS. It's kind of a new OPEC, and they're coming out with a new currency. What they're doing, they have to expand the membership. When you have to get up to 20 countries. There's a 17-country waiting list, by the way. So when they get up to 20 countries, that's what will make the currency viable.
The currency, the BRICS currency.
Correct.
And what will that currency be? Will it be gold? Will it be oil? Will it be Bitcoin? Will it be UAE dirhams? What will it be?
Well, it'll be a new currency. They haven't named it. I call it a brick, 1 brick, 10 bricks, whatever. Who knows what they'll actually call it? John Maynard Keynes called it the Bancor when he had the same idea in 1944. But Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, kind of tipped his hand a little bit. He said it will be linked to gold. That's what I'll be talking about this morning at the DMCC.
Right, BRICS, it sounds like it could be Lego to me, but I've just been to Copenhagen, so maybe I'm a little bit biased with that. What are some of the other stories that you're going to be looking at when you're here in Dubai at the moment? You're based in Connecticut in the United States, and when we introduced you, we said you're a lawyer, you're an investment banker, you're an author as well. What's the big story for you when you come to somewhere like the UAE? And also, the Saudi Arabia story is massive at the moment. What are you seeing?
Well, that's right. I do a lot in the national security area as well. I work for the intelligence community, and I teach financial warfare at the U.S. Army War College. It's a mixed group from all branches, including the State Department and the CIA. So financial warfare is one of my specialties, and of course, it's at this point the financial fighting and the kinetic fighting are side by side. Obviously, what's going on in Gaza is a tragedy, and we all know that. But there's a global financial war going on at the same time with U.S. sanctions, which have completely failed. They have not deterred. They haven't changed Russian behavior one bit. Sanctions on Iran have not changed their behavior one bit. The sanctions have failed. There are reasons for that, and it's one of the things I teach. I always have the opportunity to explain it to the U.S. government, the Treasury, the Fed, the Pentagon, but I get the meetings. They're very polite, but I'm not sure how much they listen.
Okay, so you've talked about the US political establishment there. We've got an election. What are we, 21st of November now? It's pretty much a year away until the election. Is it going to be Trump versus Biden? What do you see?
It will be Trump versus another Democrat. It won't be Biden. He's too far gone. He's mentally and physically incapacitated. He cannot string a sentence together. He's kind of an embarrassment, candidly, and I hesitate to say that as an American. I love my country, but those are the facts. Biden will go through the primary motion, collect delegates, probably announce around May that he's not going to run for president, and then release his delegates. That's the part people don't get. You can release your delegates. The Democrats have super delegates. They'll endorse, Gavin Newsom, Jennifer Grantham, Gretchen Whitmer, somebody. Everyone will play along, and they'll have a nominee. The Democratic Party actually don't believe in democracy. They're like a rigged game, and that's how it'll play out. Trump will be the Republican nominee, but he may actually be behind bars on Election Day. But people are surprised to learn that there's no prohibition, legal or constitutional, on a convicted felon who's in jail being elected president of the United States. So he may be elected from behind bars.
That would be something to behold. 30 seconds left with you, Jim. COP28 is coming up. Biggest environmental event, arguably, in the world. It's happening here in the UAE. Just a talking shop, or are we going to expect anything real and tangible from this?
Well, there's nothing real to discuss, so that's the problem. I mean, first of all, a great credit to Dubai that they're hosting it, and I'm sure they'll do a wonderful job. But the whole, I call it the green news scam, the whole climate change thing is a fraud. Climate does change. It's changed for millennia, actually hundreds of millions of years. So there is climate change, but CO2 has no role at all. It's a trace gas. We actually need more of it. It's plant food.
Great talk to you. Appreciate your time this morning. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Jim Rickards is an American lawyer, investment banker, media commentator and author of several books. He is speaking in about an hour's time at a gold event here in Dubai. So we're going to let you go. Jim, thanks for your time.
Thanks.